Okay, I've been working with some of my old Unity scenes and I've been recreating them as 3D Gaussian splat models. And a lot of these scenes are things that never even became anything. They were just something I was playing around with. But I'm finding it real satisfying to make these actually into a simple model piece so I've tried a couple different ways of making a camera rig that is specifically for output and into the 3D Gaussian workflow. And the two methods, one of them uses a paid add-on called Pegasus. This is one of the first add-ons I bought in 2017. I used it for all my cinematic output, and then Unity developed Cinemachine, which I started using once that was there. But I do find I go back and use this sometimes. I have no idea how long this will be on sale, but this is a pretty intuitive way of setting up camera work without learning the whole Cinemachine process. So I'm going to show you that method first. And then we'll show you the Cinemachine either later in this video or in a separate video. So if you're completely not used to Unity, you'll need to go to once you purchase it, you'll need to go to this package manager, and you'll have three areas. You'll have the Unity registry that has all the free things that come with Unity that you can download and import. You'll have what's already in the project, and then you'll have your own assets. Of course, that's where you'll get that. While we're in the registry, for either one of these methods, you're going to want to go ahead and import timelines. So click on that, install, or download and install. And then you're going to need, the camera does not record, so you're going to need this recorder. Same thing, download, install. And if you do want to look at Cinemachine and try it, do Cinemachine as well. So those are what you need to import into your project. And again, this is paid. I don't have anything to do with the developer or this is just a program that's I think it might work well for people. So the Pegasus is a capture. We're going to use the manager. I won't go too much into the differences. I'm going to try to stay focused. So let's do this manager. I'm going to title it OA, since I already have O1 up there. Okay, and if you click on this, you'll see over here, it shows you how to get started. Welcome to Pegasus. It says basically control left click to add a point of interest. So that means just go here and we'll be doing that. I'm going to go ahead and go through this. Click on advanced. Looped. We do not want this to be looped. I'll tell you why when we get to it, but just do single shot. And for now, we'll leave these other things the same. Frame rate, I'd love to do this 9 FPS, but our timeline only has, unless there's a way of changing this, 24 is the slowest, and so we're going to stick with that. And I think it's always it's a good idea to have this be the same, and it just runs smoother. So change that to 24, and then you would want to come down here and change this gizmo size and make it larger so that you can see this on here. So now with Pegasus selected, we're going to do, my furnace is kicking on, so hopefully it won't be too much background noise, but we're going to hit Control left click, and then the next one, Control left click, the next one, Control left click, and you don't see them yet, but they're here. You need to actually, for some reason, click on Pegasus Manager, and then they show up, and you can see those gizmos are really large, so we'll make them a little smaller. And now that you can see them, you can click on each one and move it where you want it. So I'm going to continue around this scene in a circular manner, since this is Gaussian splatting. Let's do that. And so these stuck to the terrain, and that's good for a lot of things. I don't really necessarily want it for this. In fact, I'm going to do that over because I don't want that many points. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and come on. There we go. So maybe move this one over here. This one. So I'm going to kind come over here and change this to none, and maybe that sort of evens that out. I'm going to take the whole thing and raise it. And at first you're going to have this weirdness where it's still connected to this. There. But once you click that again, it all raises up. So now we're going to, let's even this out a little. I probably went with too few points. But just sort of make this somewhat more even. And move this here. And so now each one of these gizmos, if you click on it, you'll see over here in the game view that it's just pointing straight ahead, or it's pointing to the path. So if we go over here, target, look at, path, we're going to change that to target so that we have a target. And now you'll see over here we have two different arrows, gizmos. Before you do anything, instead of trying to find which one's the right one, just go over here and just change the distance. Just click and drag a lot, and now you know. Well, watch as you're doing it so you know which one moved. Okay, the one that moved is the target. So now you can move this, and you can see here where it's going. We're going to do the same with each of these. You do have to do this separately for each one. The bad thing is you have to do it separately. The good thing is each one can have its own target. And this is what I like about this rather than Cinemachine. The Cinemachine, we'll be using a dolly track, and as far as I can tell, for each camera you can only have one target. So so that's what I like about this, and that's why I ended up using it. Of course, for this, we're kind of just having the target in the middle, so it doesn't matter. But if you're making a cinematic scene, you may care about exactly what's being framed over here by this. We'll go to a little bit more top view. This doesn't have to be real precise for Gaussian splatting. This is just the general area of a circle is fine. Let's just go make sure everything's kind of I don't know what this one's kind of high, and I don't know why that one went up so high. Oh, because that's up higher. Okay, it just shot straight out from wherever it was, and that one's up higher. I forgot about that. So let's go here. They're not really, but that's fine. You can test it. Click on the manager again, and then over here under visualization, check that. And if you watch the game view, you can scrub and see what you have. I think that's pretty good for the middle. That could be better. Like right here, we probably want to be back further. Where are we? We're at 7, 8. The final point, when you don't have it looped, it does this. You can't see it. So let's go back to 4. And I think if I can, I just need to get that back, but there's a mountain there. So, okay, we'll just leave it. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to cut through the mountain. No, that's good. We'll do that. Okay, so that is one of our rounds. You could sit here and tweak this a lot, to get it better. That might be better, have some of that up. But I'm going to move on. And so what I want to do, ideally, and I think it was designed, you would do another manager. But, being a little bit lazy, let's just, before we duplicate this, one thing I want to change is over here, we're doing 24 frames per second. That's going to, by the time we do 3 rounds, it's going to be, 3,000 to 4,000 images. And you can always go in and do every nth image. So you, like every 5th image or whatever, to reduce it. I couldn't remember the how to do that. I couldn't remember the command line. I couldn't remember. And I couldn't find it online. So if you know how to do that, simply with either FFmpeg or something else, please put it in the comments, because I really searched and couldn't figure it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change each. You can't do again. You have to do this separately. You can't do them all at once. Each one of these points of interest over here, you can change the speed between these. And what I'm going to do is I found that if I go from medium to really fast, that speeds it up just enough that I get the right amount of images. Go at 24 frames per second. again, this was just, this is a dumb way of doing this. You should just go ahead and do however many, but, and colon with the code. Okay, so now with this manager selected, if you want to know how long this is, it's 7.3 seconds. So it's let's see, 7.3 times 24. That gives you, you can do the math for how many images you're going to be getting, and if you're doing 3 rounds times 3, so I think I found that a good range is 500 to 1,000. I was running Gaussian splats with a lot more, and it just doesn't really help. There's going to be a whole lot of, way too much overlap already. So let's just go with that. Now that we have that all set, I don't think there's anything else I need to do before we copy this, duplicate it. No, we'll just go ahead and now select this and duplicate it. We'll name this one B. And duplicate this and do this one as C. Okay. And so I'm going to take B, and over here in the inspector, I'm just gonna, I think, raise that one up really high. And I'm going to leave the target where it is. And so you can see if we select that, so you can kind of see we've got that. So use that to decide where to put it. And now I'm going to turn that one off because I want to now take C, and I think I'll take C down, but not a lot. Not a lot. I think the main thing I'm going to do with C is raise each one of those target points. First, let's just see what it looks like without doing that. Do you get enough of the sky? We don't want holes in the sky. I'm going to raise each one just a little. Again, this is not perfect. It's just to show you this whole thing, and tweak away with what you know your best camera paths, so this is probably not it. So now this is an important part. We're going to now chain these together. You could actually record each one separately, but let's just do it this way. You have single shot. If you have this on looped, it will not work. You will not have this option. So go to single shot, and now instead of at the end stop fly through, we're going to click and drag manager B onto there. Oops. Well, first we'll click play the next Pegasus, and then we're going to drag that onto there. And so then we'll go and select this next Pegasus, and same thing, we'll make this play the next one. And now this is something I keep forgetting to do, very important, where it says play on start. For this one, you want to uncheck that. Otherwise, it won't do anything. It'll be waiting for it to start again, and it just won't work. So now we're going to move on to C, and same thing. That one we're going to stop, but we want to play. We want it to not play on start. So the first one is play on start. I kept forgetting that and messing it up. So now those are all in place, and now we're going to set up a recorder. Let me just delete this and do it from scratch. Again, you'll want to import your recorder from the Unity registry. And so once timeline, you want to import that as well. It will not be down here in the tabs. You'll need to go and find it. In this version, it's under sequencing, but they've moved it for later versions, so I don't know. Just look around for it. Once you have that, we're going to go over here and click, and you will have this option to use this recorder track. And now you'll just right click and do add recorder clip. Now you could use any kind of recorder you want. I use other paid versions often, but this does pretty well. And as far as how long it should be, go to this manager and we can see the distance and the duration. And so 7 times 3 is 21, 22, and at least 23 seconds. if you want to see this in frames, you know, click here and change to frames. But that should be long enough to do this. And so now click on the recorder track, and now we have a whole lot of options. You could do a movie. If you do a movie, you, instead of the Unity encoder, you could actually record. You could actually do a GIF or GIF, or you could do ProRes. You know, for Gaussian splat, let's go ahead and do an image sequence, right? Be sure to change this from game to targeted camera. It should automatically choose your main camera, which is what we want. And then you could change this. This is just 10. You could go to 4K. You could do whatever you want here. I'm going to do ping, and you would change this to 4K as well. I'm going to just do 1K for this because it doesn't matter. I've already done this. But I suppose you could do 8K if you want to. And you would change this maybe to, you know, keep track of what you're doing. Change this as you want. I do not do this in the project. I have an absolute path, and I do have it on my C drive, which is an SSD drive, so that it tends to perform faster. That's not the right one. Don't look at my stuff. So I have this temporary video, so I'm gonna right click and copy this, and don't look at that. What am I doing? Use this and paste that in. And if you want to check it, just do this. So that's correct. And so that I think is ready to go. Is there anything else? Nope. So that's it. That is the Pegasus version. You would now play this, and it should cycle through each one of these Pegasus. You can see it's moving pretty fast. It's just 1K, but and you can go here and you can see it. You can double click on this, and this gives you an idea. There's a lot of overlap. I mean, it's insane. So once you get all that, then you could either take all of these and just drag them straight into post shot, or you can, of course, go through reality capture or whatever method you use. Okay, when it swings around like that, it is done. And let's make sure we have the right number. Yep, that's about right. Obviously, something like that, we got too close, and that's going to be a complete mistake in your images. But for the most part, that just happened in a little area, so it's no big deal. These synthetic environments, they produce really good Gaussians pretty easily. You don't have a lot of the floaters that you have with natural environments, you know, the lighting and such. Let me say one more thing. This is true from both methods. You can add a post-processing layer if you'd like. You can change the lighting. So there's lots you could do before you render. I won't go into post-processing, but you can add that to this main camera. And obviously don't add vignette or bloom or anything that's going to interfere with the Gaussian splat processing. So anyway, that is the Pegasus method. And then I'll do a separate video for the Cinemachine. All right.